Hey guys, in my last video I went over the Phase 1.5 best in slot pre-raid items, and I got a lot of questions because I recommended you take Shadowcraft for this 6 set. And a lot of people were asking me, am I just better off going with the individual best items like Cadaverous Armor, True Strike, Mask the Unforgiven, Bracers the Eclipse, or should I equip a lot of inferior pieces just to get the set bonus? So I looked at my logs, I did some research, and I tried to come up with some hard numbers on what, how much attack power you're losing by equipping the Shadowcraft set over just the best individual items, and an approximate, guess as to how much value that 6 set is adding. So I made this spreadsheet here, and basically to do two things. Number one, to compare the two sets of gear, and then I'm also going to go over kind of some rough calculations on how valuable that 6 set is. So I just plugged in all of these items. So you can see, the Shadowcraft helmet's got agility, strength, stamina, and at the top I have my stat weights. And these are just values to estimate items worth and to compare two different items with completely different stats. And so if you don't know how the stat weights work, basically, one strength is worth one attack power. That's the easiest stat weight, right? Because we know that exactly one strength will give you exactly one attack power. But we also have approximations, like this one here says that 24 attack power is about equivalent to 1% crit. And by equivalent, we mean it's going to lead to the same increase in damage. And so the crit and the hit are approximations. I went with stat weights from someone named Otto's guide, and that was based on a lot of my comments. You guys were recommending I take a look at that, so I included that in this calculation. And so this is the gist of it. So we're going to take all the values and we're going to sum them up to the total attack power value. So I just went and did that for all the items. I'll link the spreadsheet in the description if you want to take a look. And we have, one last mention. The stamina I left as 0. It's pretty subjective how people rate stamina for like rating and PvE. So I left it at 0. Just keep in mind that the Shadowcraft set does have 19 more stamina, so that isn't being factored into the attack power values here. So you can see the total kind of just best available pieces gives about 332 attack power when converted, and Shadowcraft gives 234. So we're down about 100, but the set bonus that gives 40 attack power is going to make up some of the difference. So you can see that the set bonus is going to have to be pretty good to make up for the fact that you're losing 60 attack power by not equipping all of the best available items. So what I tried to do in this second sheet of the spreadsheet is I tried to give an approximation of the value of the Shadowcraft set. So when you see SC here, that's just short for Shadowcraft. I'm deriving this based on a 2-minute Magmadar fight in Molten Core that I did, and it was, it's just one of the easiest fights to, close your eyes, do damage. Not a lot going on, so I was able to get a pretty good sample of, in a raid environment with, full buffs, what's the damage looking like. Now, you're going to see backstab here. I do play as a dagger rogue, so just keep that in mind that this could change some of the values, but we'll see. So first of all, I did about 45,000 damage to the boss. My backstab did about 1,000 damage, so I'm able to kind of derive some values about my backstab damage. And why is this relevant? Well, we know the proc. I'll pull it up on screen one more time. The 6 set, chance on melee attack to restore 35 energy. So we're going to try and determine how much value that adds. So to put a number, so like convert it to an attack power. So I just went and showed you in the other sheet that Shadowcraft is giving you 58 less attack power. I'm going to try and give you an estimation as how much attack power you get from the set bonus. So to start, the approximate Shadowcraft set bonus rate, I'm putting it as 3.5%. Now, I did some research. I saw some sources saying 4%. I saw some saying between 2 and 4. I saw some saying 3.5. I, in my testing, thought it was about 4%. So when I saw people saying 3.5%, that seems right. And so we're going to run with a 3.5% rate for this calculation. And during the Magmadar fight, I had 95 white hits. So this is going to be a little higher since I'm playing daggers and have faster attack speed. So just keep that in mind at the end when we get to our final number that you might need to make some adjustments. So the amount of procs, I just multiplied these two numbers, and we get that in the 2-minute Magmadar fight, on average, based on how many hits that I connected with the boss, that I should have between around 3.3 procs every time I kill the boss in 2 minutes. So just on average. And I converted that to backstabs. So you can see you get like 0.6 backstabs per proc because it's 35 energy and backstab is 60. And I divided out my backstab to do approximately 1,000 damage per backstab. So using the 1,000 damage per backstab and the bonus backstabs, I'm getting about 2 backstabs per kill. I was able to, again, these are all estimations, but say, all right, well, I'm going to get about 2,000 extra damage just from the set bonus. And if you put it in percent, that's going to be about a 4% damage increase. And I wanted, at this point, to try and convert this to attack power. Try and, 4% damage, what does that mean? So I looked at my white hit damage for the fight, which was about the same as my backstab damage for the fight, if you're curious. And I factored in my miss percent. Now in this fight, I was just 6% hit because I was actually testing the hit cap with 300, the soft hit cap with 305 weapon skill. And I was able to calculate the amount of damage per 1% hit. So this is not damage per auto attack, but how much damage am I going to get per point of hit gear? And if you're curious on how I calculated that, I just took my miss rate. I said, how much damage would I have done if I never missed? Divide by 100. There we have damage per point of hit. So I would get about 250 damage per point of hit. And I put it into percent if you're curious. And so like about 0.6% increase of damage per hit. So if we convert that to the Shadowcraft, it would be about, from these numbers, again, estimations, it would take about 8% hit to equal the bonus damage that I got from the Shadowcraft set bonus. And if I convert that over to attack power, hit escape here. If I convert that over to attack power, that's going to give me 150 attack power. So this is a pretty big number. I honestly was not expecting it to be, this valuable of a set bonus. So take some things with a grain of salt. Number one, I was playing daggers, so I got more Shadowcraft procs than you might if you're playing swords. I also, do more damage with my abilities than a combat swords character. So I have a higher, I get more value out of energy than a combat player might. But 154 is still a lot. Now I would suspect that even a combat rogue would get at least 100 attack power from the Shadowcraft set. And again, none of these numbers are hard, but this was my best approximation that you're getting about 150 attack power from the Shadowcraft bonus. And I'll post all my spreadsheet and the original best in slot list and everything in the description. But you can see 58 and what do we say? 154. So 154 minus 58. Let me put equals at the beginning. And boom, there you have it. 96 attack power increase for my character, playing a dagger rogue, with my character's gear, you know, my situation and everything. But just to give you an approximation, this is how I come up with Shadowcraft being a better damage option than the alternative. All right. Hopefully this is, easy to follow, and thanks for watching.